What? I'll send you the link that you can hear, and that nigun is it's a very powerful song, and when I think about it, I think about the different levels of the soul, because there are several levels of our soul, and you think about the way that we occur. And the way I think of it, the way we occur, is that we're occurring at the lowest level, and the lowest level are the level of your five senses. So if you do nothing about it, that's where you occur. So there's not much of a difference between you and an animal, maybe an educated animal. But then there's the higher levels, and when you consider who you are at the highest of all those levels, it's not even you. The you aspect of it is an addition to it. It's a way in which that gets to experience this. But it's kind of tricky because we're not usually present to that. We could be more present to it, but it's not easy to be present to it because of the way that we're designed. So part of going to gravesite of a tzaddik is connecting into that space of who you are, that level, and why a tzaddik, why a righteous person, because they tapped into it. And by them doing that work, they didn't do it for themselves, they did it for the service. So they kind of made themselves a channel for us to get to experience that also. Excuse me. Having said that, this particular parsha that we read this week, for me, it's a very interesting, personal, exciting memory of my own, because the first time I ever gave a class, a group of people that were like a secular group of people, but like, when I was in New York, I gave to individuals, but not to groups. And a good friend of mine, he ended up leaving abruptly in the middle of the year to go on a mission. So I ended up taking over his class. And later on, I would look back and reminisce about all of the tough times that they gave me at that class, because they gave me a tough time. They were a tough group of Sephardic Jews. I'll just tell you one story before we get started, because it's good to hear a story. Excuse me.
Can I move that candle? It's making me nervous.
This candle's making you
nervous? You're going to knock it over.
No, I'm not going to knock it over.
All right. Don't get...
So one of the individuals of the class, his name, Alav Hashalom, was, I think, maybe not, God, actually he should live a long life if he's alive. His name was Morris Schumacher. And he used to give me a really rough time, like question everything. Like, Jim in the good old days. You know what I'm saying? He was like the prep for it. So what happens is that at one point I came to this realization that I have to take these people to the Rebbe. And they never met the Rebbe. They live right there in Brooklyn. So he's like, what do I need to go see this old man for? I'm like, people come from all over the world to come see the Rebbe. I'm just telling you, he's my teacher, Odom. So they agreed to come. And then when Morris went by the Rebbe, he had a very quick interaction. It was very quick. But he burst out crying in a way that I've really never seen it before. It was so profoundly overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It was just so an incredible experience. And it was, I was young. I didn't have an enemy to ask him. But later on, as I would learn about these levels of the soul, there's that level of the soul that's called the Yechida level. The Baal Shem Tov says that when you come into contact with a tzaddik, you lose yourself there. In other words, you become part of that, who you are in that level. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So having said that, I'm going to go straight into that. I want to tell you what this is. This is a teaching from the Alter Rebbe. I'm reading it inside. And it's about the characters of this week's parsha. Let's jump right into it. Page 1. Jacob at his root. So I wanted to bring up this historic part of it. What happened was that Jacob and Esau, brothers, when they were much younger, Esau sold his firstborn rights to Jacob. Jacob got the blessings. Esau found out about it. Jacob had to run away. Now Jacob has most of the 12 tribes, not Benjamin, and he has Joseph, not Benjamin. And now he's going to go back for the first time and encountered Esau, who actually had intention to kill him. Now that's the physical story. But the whole story, of course, even at a physical level, it begs many questions. Because the fact that Esau is born at a young age to be someone of that kind of character is a difficult situation. It's hard to understand how that works.
What kind of character?
He was a rough character. He was a hunter. He was he was a murderer. He was at a young when he was still in the womb, when his mother walked by a place of idol worship, she would feel kicking, and it was him. But this whole concept of Jacob and Esau, like every other story in the Torah, as I've shared with you many times, is a metaphor for a deeper conversation, which that story, putting aside the pshat level, the lower level of the Torah, we're going to go into the deeper end of this. So here we are. Jacob at his root comes from the divine configuration called Shema, the name of 45, associated with the world of Tikkun, the world of rectification and integration. I'm going to tell you what that is, but that's the world we're in. We are in the world of what's called the world of rectification. We are here to fix things. That's our job. It's broken, and we're here to fix it. You may ask, why is it broken? That's a great question. Hold on one second. I need to get something to plug this in, otherwise it's going to die very soon.
Is it water? Is it what? No, where it's from. I just did water and it was. It's in the remote valley of somewhere in Washington. I think it's where you look at it. What does it say? That is good. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
Pretty-
There's a song. My mind works in music. So this is a song, I forget the name of it. It's by the Grateful Dead called My Brother Esau. Brother Esau.
What's that?
The Grateful Dead did a song called My Brother Esau.
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense with a name like that.
That's why you were just saying.
But it talks about what you thought.
Yeah.
My brother.
Okay.
Goes
Wait,
into
wait,
the narrative.
wait, hold on. You were just saying that we're here to fix what's broken.
Correct. So basically, as we're going to see shortly, and if our audience loses this, I'm sorry. Next time. Okay. As we're going to see shortly, I just want to take you in a certain sense like back to God's kitchen. Because prior to time, space, and energy, there's nothing that we could possibly conceive of or understand. It just doesn't make any sense to us. So we live in a certain context of reality. That's who we are, what we are. We live in a certain context of reality. That context of reality comes about in